Hi, so I am going to explain how to do a pelvic floor lift because a lot of people do pelvic floor exercises or Kegels as they're often called, but they're not sure if they're doing it properly. So the first thing that I'll need to explain first is how the pelvic floor and how that's affected with breathing. So first, let's talk about the pelvic floor. So that's down there. And then that is linked to the diaphragm, which is the breathing muscle, which is down here. So the breathing muscles, the diaphragm, when you breathe in, so to let the air come in, the diaphragm will lengthen and go downwards. And as that happens, the pelvic floor will also lengthen and go down because they work together. So as you breathe in, your diaphragm goes down and your pelvic floor goes down and relaxes as well. Then as you breathe out, the diaphragm goes up to push the air out. And then so the pelvic floor goes up at the same time. So once you understand that, then it makes sense to make sure that you're breathing out as you do a pelvic floor lift so that it goes with the diaphragm and not against it. So the way I like to do a pelvic floor lift is breathing in, then breathing out, and just get used to that first. So take a couple of breaths in and out. Then I want you to think of doing a pelvic floor lift as you're breathing out. And the pelvic floor lift, I want you to imagine like you're trying to hold in a fart or you're trying to hold in some wee. And you want to imagine that you're kind of like a zipper, like going from the back passage to the front. And that's because the pelvic floor does span not only the urinary area, but it is also in the rectum area. So you want to kind of lift, kind of that sort of feeling from the back to the front. So let's bring all that together now. So take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, you want to lift from the back to the front and hold. Now, depending on how strong your pelvic floor is or how weak it is, you want to build up the seconds of how much you're holding. So if you want to start with 2 to 3 seconds, that's absolutely fine. But what you don't want to do is hold it for too long and then sort of let it fizzle away and you're not really sure if you're holding it well or not. So you want to be able to hold the pelvic floor, and then you want to be able to also feel it relax. So that relaxation is really important because it means that you know if you're holding it or not. So I always tell people start with 3 seconds. So breathing in, breathing out, back to the front, lift, 1, 2, 3, and then let that go and feel that relaxation. Start with 3 seconds. Then go up to 5, then after a while go up to 8, and then ideally if you can hold for 10, that's great. I don't want you to hold your breath as you're holding it, holding the lift. I definitely want you to hold it and then keep breathing. Hope that made sense, and do watch this video over again just to go through it. But the main points is you want to lift from the back to the front, and you want to lift on your exhalation, so breathing out. You want to don't hold it too long that it fizzles out. You want to hold it, let's say 5 seconds, and then feel that relaxation, and you want to do that about 10 times.